The Discovery Captain Marcus Stone never expected to find anything alive in the wreckage of mining station Omega-7. The distress beacon had been silent for 3 weeks, and the automated systems showed total life support failure. His ship, the Defiant Dawn, drifted through the debris field like a ghost hunting for memories. "Scanners are picking up something," reported his pilot, Lieutenant Jake Morrison. "Sector 7, near the old processing bay." Marcus adjusted his helmet and checked his rifle. The Vorthek had been raiding human settlements for months, taking prisoners for their slave markets. This station bore their signature burn marks: precise, cruel, efficient. But the readings showed one faint life signature, barely detectable. They found her in the deepest part of the station, chained to a support beam with energy shackles that hummed with malevolent power. She was small, maybe 17 in human years, with pale blue skin marked by scars and burns. Her hair was silver white, matted with dried blood. Most striking were her eyes, deep purple, filled with a mixture of defiance and exhaustion. "Please," she whispered in broken English. "They come back soon." Marcus had seen Vorthik slave techniques before. The energy chains weren't just restraints. They fed on the prisoner's life force, keeping them weak while slowly draining their will to resist. This girl had been here for weeks, yet she still fought. "Not happening," Marcus growled, pulling out his plasma cutter. "Jake, watch the perimeter." The chains resisted at first, their alien technology designed to prevent escape. But human engineering had one advantage the Vorthik never understood: pure, stubborn creativity. Marcus reversed the polarity on his cutter, overloaded the feedback loop, and watched as the chains arced and died. She collapsed immediately, her legs too weak to hold her. Marcus caught her gently, surprised by how light she felt. "You're safe now," he said softly. "What's your name?" "Zara," she whispered. "I am ... was Princess of Kellion System." Marcus felt his blood chill. The Kellion system had been destroyed 6 months ago, turned into asteroid dust by Vorthik planet crackers. This girl might be the last of her species. The Vorthik took everything, Zara continued, her voice gaining strength. "My family, my people, my world. They kept me alive because ... She paused, touching a crystalline implant behind her ear. "Because I can access the old network, the one that connects all their facilities." Marcus exchanged glances with Jake. If she was telling the truth, this girl wasn't just a survivor. She was a weapon the Vorthik had unknowingly preserved. A key to their own destruction. "Can you use it?" Marcus asked. Zara's purple eyes flashed with something dangerous. "I have been planning their downfall for months, but I needed someone crazy enough to help me." Marcus grinned. "Lady, you just found the craziest human in the galaxy." The bond 3 days aboard the Defiant Dawn had changed everything. Zara moved through the ship like a ghost, finding her way back to life, her strength returning with each passing hour. She studied everything: the engine systems, the weapons array, even the coffee maker in the galley. "Your technology is so chaotic," she observed, watching Marcus repair a faulty power coupling. "But it works." "That's humanity for you," Marcus replied. "We fix things with spare parts and stubbornness." Zara had shared her story during those 3 days. The Kellion were an ancient race, peaceful and advanced, living in harmony with their 3-star system. They had never developed weapons of war because they had never needed them. When the Vorthik came, the slaughter lasted less than a day. "They took me because of this," Zara said, pointing to the crystal implant. "It's a neural interface, connects me to the quantum network my people built. The Vorthik use it to control their slave operations across the galaxy." Marcus felt sick. "They're using your own technology against other species." "Yes, but they don't understand it fully. They think It's just a communication device. Zara's eyes gleamed. They have no idea what I can really do. That night, she demonstrated. Connecting to the ship's computer through a jury-rigged interface, Zara accessed the Vorthic network. Suddenly, the view screen filled with data streams. Location markers, fleet positions, slave facility coordinates. There, she pointed to a red marker. Detention Center Prime, where they keep the strongest captives before selling them to the highest bidders. Marcus studied the tactical display. The facility was heavily defended, surrounded by automated defense platforms and patrolled by Vorthic battle cruisers. It was a suicide mission. How many prisoners? He asked. 17,000, from 43 different species. Jake let out a low whistle. That's a small city. And they're all going to die if we don't act, Zara said quietly. The Vorthic are planning something big. A mass execution to celebrate their new territorial conquest. Marcus stood silent for a long moment, weighing their options. His crew was skilled, but they were just 6 people against an empire. The smart move would be to take this intelligence to Fleet Command, let them plan a proper military response. But 17,000 beings would be dead by then. Zara, he said finally, can you disable their defense systems? She nodded slowly. If I can get close enough to their central hub. But Marcus, once I do this, there's no going back. The Vorthic will hunt us across the galaxy. Then we better make it count. Marcus turned to his crew. Anyone who wants out, now's the time. This isn't a military operation. It's a rescue mission with terrible odds. No one moved. Jake actually smiled. Skip, you've been looking for. A good fight since the academy. This is it. Zara watched them with wonder. You would risk everything for strangers? That's what humans do, Marcus said simply. We're too stupid to know when we're beaten. The assault the Defiant Dawn dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Vorthic detention system like a predator emerging from shadow. Detention Center Prime hung in space like a malevolent star, its dark hull studded with weapon emplacements and docking bays. Around it, 6 battle cruisers prowled in patrol patterns. Stealth systems at maximum, reported Jake. But they won't hold long against their deep scanners. Marcus nodded, his hands steady on the controls. The plan was insane. Infiltrate the center, reach the quantum hub, and give Zara access to their entire network. Simple in concept, nearly impossible in execution. Zara, you ready? He asked Dot. She had spent the last 2 days preparing, studying the facility's blueprints and practicing with human weapons. The energy rifle looked massive in her small hands, but she handled it with growing confidence. I'm ready, she said. Remember, once I access the hub, I'll need 60 seconds to complete the upload. After that, every Vorthic facility in this sector will go dark. The first obstacle came sooner than expected. A patrol cruiser altered course, its sensors sweeping toward their position. Marcus held his breath, watching the tactical display as the alien ship drew closer. They're scanning us, whispered Jake. Hold position, Marcus ordered. Zara, can you already on it? Her eyes closed, the crystal implant glowing softly. Through the Vorthic network, she sent a false signature, making their ship appear as empty space. The cruiser passed within 1,000 meters and continued its patrol. Incredible, breathed Jake. How did you? I told their sensors we were a cloud of cosmic dust, Zara said with a small smile. Sometimes the simplest lies work best. They docked at a maintenance bay, using forged clearance codes Zara had created. The station's interior was a maze of dark corridors and flickering lights. Emergency klaxons wailed in the distance. Something was wrong. The prisoners are rioting, Zara reported, her implant picking up security transmissions. 3 sectors are in open rebellion. Marcus felt a grim satisfaction. Good, that'll keep them busy. They moved through the station like ghosts, Zara's network access allowing them to avoid guard patrols and security checkpoints. The quantum hub was located in the station's core, protected by layers of both physical and digital barriers. There, Zara pointed to a massive crystalline structure surrounded by energy fields. That's it. Marcus counted at least 20 guards, all heavily armed. Can you disable the barriers? Not without triggering every alarm in the facility. Zara checked her rifle. We'll have to do this the hard way. The firefight was brutal but brief. Human weapons, designed for efficiency rather than elegance, cut through Vorthic armor like paper. Marcus and his team had trained for urban combat, fighting in close quarters where their adaptability gave them an edge. Hubs clear. Jake shouted over the noise of battle. Zara ran to the quantum interface, her hands flying over the alien controls. The crystal implant blazed with light as she connected to the network's deepest levels. 40 seconds, she called. Out. I'm accessing their command protocols now. More guards were coming. Marcus could hear them in the corridors, their heavy boots echoing like thunder. Whatever you're doing, do it faster. 20 seconds. Zara's voice was strained. I'm uploading the liberation virus now. Every shackle, every chain, every prison door in their network. The lights went out. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red light. And then, from somewhere deep in the station, came a sound Marcus had never heard before, the collective roar of 17,000 beings breaking free. It's done, Zara whispered, collapsing to her knees. They're all free. The uprising chaos erupted throughout Detention Center Prime as 17,000 prisoners suddenly found their shackles and cell doors unlocked. The Vorthic guards, caught, completely off guard, found themselves facing a tidal wave of rage from dozens of different species. Move, Marcus shouted, helping Zara to her feet. We need to reach the shuttle bay before. The station shuddered as something massive struck its hull. Through the viewport, Marcus saw one of the patrol cruisers spinning out of control. Its engines dead. Zara's virus had spread faster than expected, disabling Vorthic technology across the entire system. The network is collapsing, Zara reported, her implant flickering weakly. I've overloaded their quantum cores. Every facility, every ship, every weapon system they have is shutting down. They ran through corridors filled with liberated prisoners. Marcus saw species he didn't recognize, tall beings with crystalline skin, small furry creatures with 6 arms, gas-dwelling entities in environment suits. All of them were fighting with improvised weapons, turning the station into a battlefield. This way. A voice called out in accented English. A tall reptilian being with scarred hide waved them toward a maintenance tunnel. I am Commander Vex of the Saurian Defense Corps. Your friend's virus freed us all. Marcus nodded grimly. How many guards left? Fewer every minute. The prisoners are organized now, working together. The Vorthic never expected their victims to unite. They emerged into the main detention bay, where hundreds of freed prisoners were overwhelming the remaining guards. Marcus watched in amazement as species that had probably never met before worked together with perfect coordination. How are they doing this? Jake asked. The Kellian network, Zara explained weakly. It's still active, connecting all the survivors. They can share thoughts, coordinate strategies. The Vorthic tried to use our technology for slavery, but instead they created the perfect resistance network. A new alarm began blaring. Through the station's speakers, a Vorthic voice screamed, orders in their harsh language. They're activating the self-destruct, Zara translated. If they can't control the prisoners, they'll kill everyone. Marcus felt cold fury rise in his chest. How long? 10 minutes, maybe less. Then we evacuate. Marcus turned to Commander. Vex, can you organize the prisoners? Get them to the shuttle bays? Already in progress, Vex replied. But there aren't enough ships for everyone. That's when Jake stepped forward with a crazy grin. Actually, there might be. Zara, can you access the docking bay controls? Yes, but trust me. Jake's fingers flew over his portable computer. I've been studying Vorthic ship designs. Their cruisers are automated, minimal crew, maximum firepower. If we can get control of them. Understanding dawned on Marcus's face. You want to steal their entire fleet. Not steal. Liberate. Jake's grin widened. Those ships were built with forced labor. It's only fair the prisoners get to use them. Within minutes, the plan was in motion. Zara's virus had left the Vorthic ships dead in space, but their life support and basic systems were still functional. Teams of prisoners, led by former military personnel from various species, began boarding the disabled cruisers. 5 minutes to self-destruct, Zara announced. That's cutting it close, Marcus muttered. Captain, Commander Vex approached with a group of senior prisoners. We've discussed this. The younger ones should evacuate first. Those of us who have fought the Vorthic for years. We volunteer to stay behind and ensure everyone else escapes. Marcus shook his head. No one stays behind. That's not how humans do things. But the mathematics, forget the mathematics. Marcus keyed his comm. All teams status report. The responses came back quickly. Every ship was loaded. Every prisoner accounted for. The impossible had happened. They were actually going to save everyone. 2 minutes. Zara called out. They ran for the last shuttle as the station began to shake apart. Behind them, the detention center that had been a symbol of Vorthic power was becoming a monument to their defeat. The New Alliance 6 months later, Marcus stood on the observation deck of New Haven Station, watching the construction crews put finishing touches on the latest addition to their growing fleet. The station itself was a marvel of interspecies cooperation, human engineering combined with Kellian quantum technology, Saurian defense systems, and innovations from dozens of other races. The Council is ready for you, Zara said, approaching with a datapad. She looked different now. Healthier, stronger, with purpose burning in her purple eyes. The crystal implant had been modified, no longer connecting to the Vorthac network, but to something far more powerful, the free alliance of species they had helped create. How many ships this time? Marcus asked. 47 new vessels, all crewed by volunteers from the Liberation. Zara smiled. Commander Vex says it's the largest fleet in this sector. They walked through corridors filled with beings from across the galaxy. The former prisoners had become something else, the core of a new alliance dedicated to stopping the Vorthic expansion. What had started as a desperate rescue mission had become a revolution. The Vorthic are retreating on all fronts, reported Jake during the strategy meeting. Their slave-based economy is collapsing. Without forced labor, they can't maintain. Their war machine, good, said Commander Vex. But we can't let them regroup. Intelligence suggests they're massing forces in the outer rim. Marcus nodded. Then we take the fight to them. End this permanently. Captain, one of the newer council members spoke up. The human fleet has offered to join our next operation. Admiral Harrison says the Terran Federation is ready to commit. 3 battle groups. And the Kellian survivors? Marcus asked. Zara stood, her voice carrying the weight of memory and hope. We are few, but we're no longer alone. The network that once enslaved us now connects free minds across the galaxy. We will fight. As the meeting concluded, Marcus found himself alone with Zara on the observation deck. The girl he had found in chains was gone, replaced by a leader who had helped forge an alliance of species. Do you ever regret it? She asked quietly. That day you broke my chains? Marcus considered the question. They had started a war, displaced millions of beings, changed the balance of power across multiple sectors. The simple rescue mission had become something far bigger than he had ever imagined. "No," he said finally. "Breaking chains is what humans do. It's what we're for." Zara smiled, the same defiant expression she had worn in that ruined station. "Then let's go break some more." In the distance, the Alliance fleet prepared for its next mission. Ships from dozens of worlds, crewed by former slaves and volunteers, united by the simple human principle that freedom was worth fighting for. The Vorthic had made one critical error. They had underestimated both human stubbornness and the power of beings who refused to stay broken. It would be their last mistake, the end.